Hello all heroes and welcome back to Invincible guarding the globe, and today we're going to be going over the Nightmare event for the newest character in the game, Conquest. Now what I'm referring to, of course, is the Cecil's Nightmare event themed specifically around Conquest. Just a reminder here, you can only use one character, that being Conquest, and only one copy of him. No wailing out and using multiple Conquests, you can't do that. And for rewards, in addition to quite a lot of XP, you can get some elite from World Beyond characters, a few Viltrumites in there, which is not half bad. Now, what we are at here currently is a seismic 1-star Conquest. That's where we're at currently with all the gems. We have not technically spent any money on this event, depending on how you count that with the previous gem bundles. That if you want the one thing in this game that might just be worth buying, that $20,000 gem $30 happy hour deal that comes around once in a blue moon. It's rare, but dang it if that bad boy don't help. So we got to here technically spending only gems. So first things first, how we're building the man. For our gear, the strongest we've got 3 omnipotent pieces here, so that's not half bad. For our artifact, so here's the thing. It's a little tricky to build a character for a nightmare where they're alone, because a lot of artifacts are kind of like teamwork things. So what I've done here is I've given him the GDA cloaking device for a couple reasons. One, it is just straight up my highest leveled one. And in addition to basically making him untouchable every 16 seconds or so, it also can increase his crit damage. Which is relevant because this increases his critical chance by 14% and some change at level 29 here. And that's important for his go right through you ability, where if his basic attack is a crit, he basically does extra damage, applies a bleeding effect, and can even punch through immunity barriers on a good way with a much higher chance if you get this ability maxed out. It doesn't even have like a cooldown or anything, so if you can really gear this guy correctly, he can be applying quite a lot of damage over times and just straight up melt the enemy. Speaking of skills, if you're building Conquest specifically for this nightmare, don't worry about Chain of Command. This only works if there's a leader ally present in his team, but he's going to be alone. So, this won't do anything. This I would build as a third priority, because the kicker is, you're going to want to try and get through this as fast as possible, and optimally, at least in the earlier stages, you're not going to be even reaching that 20-second mark. Now, these two abilities are important. This one, like we just said, tons of bleed damage, chance of breaking barriers, which is very good if you're up against an immortal or an invincible. I know there's invincibles, I don't know if there's immortals, but we'll see. And then this ability right here, on top of having a very quick cooldown, is basically like a debuff cleanse. I don't know how it works on stuns though. Because if it's off cooldown but he gets stunned, I don't know if he'll pass that stun to the enemy, or if he's just gonna still be stunned and it's just not gonna happen. Hard to say. But it also increases his crit chance, which pairs very well with go right through you. So, assuming that this is calculating the artifact, which I believe it is, we're at a crit chance of 21%, which is not terrible. And yeah, basically, if you want a tip, just build them as strong as you can. That's the gist of it. So let's see what we're cooking with here. Okay, there is some immortals. It looks like it's a mix of heroes. It's not like just Invincible and Adam Eve, which fair enough, although it does end up with an omnipotent Invincible, so that's kind of interesting. We're gonna see how far we can get with a seismic 1-star Conquest. That's pretty privileged, because admittedly I did have some truly amazing luck and spent a truly unholy number of gems. But we'll see how far we get. Maybe we'll get to the end, and maybe, hopefully, this video will give you an idea of how far Conquest needs to be to get to level 20. If we get to stage 20 and we're still cruising, then you can probably do that with something much less, like a legendary or something. If we start hitting difficulties, well then you'll know where the theoretical limit is. It just demolished every single one of those duplicates. That's hilarious. I mean, totally expected for this early in the fight, but that is still more than a little amusing. Now this one is interesting because later on, on top of being able to teleport like he just did, Cecil will be able to actually summon Reaniman to stall you out, which is a real pain in the butt, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We do have an Oliver and an Invincible. I do not think it's really gonna matter. Nope. Not in the slightest. Very nice, very nice. Like I said, for the invisibility cloak that we have, the Cloak of Invisibility, it's like a Harry Potter thing, the GDA cloaking device. That's more so just for stats, because it does give me the most crit of all of my artifacts. Optimally, there are a few other things you could go with. Ironically, the Burger Mert trash bag is actually pretty decent, because that can do extra AoE damage to try and kill some dudes as fast as possible. That was actually interesting, because he went and just plowed through that Rexplode, which was pretty cool. Bulletproof just got mowed down. Nice, nice, nice. That XP is very tasty. So far, so good. We'll see how far we can get here. We do have the Immortal. Okay, the Immortal's got his shield now. Let's see if we can do anything about that. Interesting. Okay. That was very interesting to witness. So, it did break his shield, but I didn't kill him. I don't know if it actually did any damage, is the thing. That is good to know. So basically, it's a shield punch to break it, but it doesn't necessarily do any damage. In a practical situation, where he's in a team, that would be where the rest of your DPS would be picking up the slack. It's like he breaks the shield, and then the rest of your DPS does what they do best, which is commit murder. But in this particular case, at the very least, it still can speed up the process a little bit. Or possibly it maybe didn't proc. That's another possibility too. I don't know. Because I guess it's not a guaranteed chance right now. If you do get the skill maxed out, it becomes a guaranteed chance, but we'll see what happens. Oh, okay, that kind of felt like a hit actually. Hard to say, but you'll kind of get to see some practical usage here. That was stage 10. We're starting to slow down a little bit. Victory is still pretty much assured in these fights, but we are getting slowed a little bit depending on the enemies. That is a strike and a half. It's a very satisfying animation, that I will say. Oh, got a little bit of a lag spike there, but that's okay. It is a very satisfying animation. Okay, we're also getting a ton of XP and molecular enhancements. Something else to note. This has been the case for the last two characters, being Anissa and Bulletproof. But both times, they actually had a second event the week after, focused around, like, certain factions. I forget what it was for Anissa, but I know, I know it was Powerplex who had the mystery shop, which is not a great event, but it's better than nothing. That has a chance of giving some more characters, so sometimes you can get an extra copy of the new character just kind of after the fact. We'll see in a few days how that goes. We're having a little bit of lag here, which is not the most ideal thing in history. Come on now. Okay, and we're back. The game locked up on me there for a second, which is not ideal, but that is okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I don't think it's a game because it runs fine on my phone. I'm pretty sure this is more of a emulation issue. So, we're dealing with Cecil, aka the biggest time waster of these events, because when you punch the Reaniman out, he just replaces them, at least the first time around. Which is, as you might imagine, quite bothersome. That was a very good AoE, though. That certainly helped. Come on. Getting through them slowly but surely. Victory is still pretty assured, but we are getting slowed a bit. There we go. Okay. That is that. Still getting the XP, which is the really nice one. At least the blue XP. I just now noticed Oliver does a little flip when he flies in. That's funny. That is funny. Okay. Getting through the enemies here. That hurt. I mean, it didn't really hurt, but it knocked me back a lot, which is slightly bothersome. And now Conquest is invisible, and they're just like, where'd he go? Nice, nice. Punch, punch, punch. And we have beaten the child. Nice. Okay, we're not getting 3 stars, sadly. I wish I could get 3 stars, because especially with these next couple, it'd be like I'm missing out on elites, but if that's the nature of the beast, then that's the nature of the beast. Like I said, in this event does last for a couple more weeks, so if you do happen to get copies from other events, that can still help. We'll just have to wait and see. Slam. That was a very cinematic Omni-Man takedown. I like that. That was admittedly pretty cool. That was pretty okay. Okay, did not pierce the shield, but I don't have a guaranteed chance, so that is kind of worth mentioning. So it looks like it doesn't necessarily do damage, it just does the damage over time, which, I mean, can arguably be just as good, but in this particular instance, I'm kind of wishing I could have a little bit more damage. Then again, it's also worth mentioning that Conquest is a defender, which means being bulky is his bread and butter. And the fact that he doesn't have a leader means he is missing a little bit of his attack stat. Okay. Okay, yeah, admittedly that bleed does do pretty good. It is melting that monster girl. I'm also noticing that it doesn't look like he can stack the bleeds, which is unfortunate. It would be nice if he could, but it doesn't seem like he can. Bam. Very nice. Floored the Black Samson there for a second. Nice try. He does have some cool animations, I'll give him that. That in particular is a very cool animation. There we go, okay. That was a good hit. Okay, that was 16. We're slowing way down, though, so I think this is giving a pretty accurate representation of how high you're going to need to be to reliably do these higher stages, and it's pretty high. Which is to be expected, to be quite honest. I think we chucked Rexplode's damage over time right back on him, which is kind of funny. Oh, that's interesting. Did y'all see that? There was something fascinating that just happened there. He put the stun from Duplicate on Rexplode. Now that's fascinating. Okay, that is quite the educational strike there. So I think what happened, I think Rexplode triggered the effect by putting like bleed or wound on him. I forget the name. But so Rexplode triggered the effect, and then at the almost exact same time, Duplicate tried to do her stun, but it didn't stop him. He just transferred the stun over to Rexplode, which I think means that ability can bypass stun. That is some fascinating knowledge to have. That is truly fascinating. That is interesting. Okay, this is the ultimate time waster, because we've got the Reanimen who are just going to come back to life for one time, courtesy of Cecil, and then Darkwing is going to try and drag me into the Shadowverse. This is gonna be a pain. Big hits on the Reanimen, which is always nice. And, yep, and we're gone. We'll wait. Help, and we're back. Hey. Yeah, that one is going to be a bother. Big hit from Cecil. They can't do anything to him. It's just, that's a time waste. Come on. We were having a, okay, we might actually be running up against the clock here, because we were having a difficult time. Okay, we're hitting the Cecil. He teleported. And we're gone. We'll wait. And he's back. Okay. That's such a frustrating ability. It's useless on the player side, because you're literally burning time that you don't have. And then it's like, and then you've got to wait for the enemy to bring you back. It's such a pain. Okay, we're beating up Cecil. Kind of wish he'd finish off Darkwing, but we'll see what we can do here. Very nice strike, very nice. Yeah, I definitely think, oh no. Uh-oh, we might actually not finish this. Come on, you're almost there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh no, no, you're kidding me. Oh, oh, buzzer beater. We had, I think, like 0.07 seconds left on that one. We'll take it. I mean, we'll take it, but that one's made to be frustrating. That's not even like a damage check. Or, well, I guess it is a damage check because you gotta kill them fast enough. But it's like, they won't kill you, but they'll stop you. Which I guess is kind of the name of the game with the Reanimen, funny enough. If they can't kill you, they can at least slow you down. But now this one's another one where we'll see. At least this one doesn't have any pesky resurrections. Well, not even resurrections, technically, just resummoning of Reanimen. But I almost forgot that Darkwing would be replaced by Reanimen too, which makes it even worse. Okay, come on, come on. I don't know if we're gonna beat this one. Yeah, we've about got Omni-Man out of here, but I think we're in trouble. He just pile drive the already down Omni-Man, which is kind of funny. Come on. We're trying our hardest here, but I'm not too optimistic. Looks like timing might be a struggle. He's bulky, he can take it all day. He's just having a hard time. He's having a hard time after the fact. Having a hard time doing the damage he needs, although he might actually drop here. Or maybe not, but I think we've hit our limit. I think we've hit our theoretical limit, because they still have a lot of HP for me to chew through. So that is that. That is a defeat at stage 19. With stage 18 being real close. Real close. Okay. So, for that, we're at 28. We will not maintain that rank. We're going to get knocked down pretty good over the next 2 weeks. Frankly, I'll be happy if we stay in the top 100. We put up a dang good fight, but that ranking will not last. I remember from Anissa, I gave it everything I had, and I still did not quite get top 10, I believe it was. So, yeah, there you go. With a good gear, and we're getting a... Okay, well, I'm just going to wrap it up here since the game has decided it's done anyway. With a good gear, with a well-geared Seismic 1-star Conquest, you can make it to Stage 19, but you might not get through Stage 19. So, take that how you will as far as how much you want to actually build this man. Up towards getting good scores on Stage 20 is especially going to be whale territory, and even if you beat Stage 20, you're not going to beat the whales in the leaderboard. So just a heads up there. However, the rewards for each individual stage, I mean, you saw them, tons of molecular enhancements, tons of XP, and even some characters every now and then. You know what? That's not half bad. So yeah, we will leave it at that. Let me know down in the comments below how your Conquest Nightmare is going, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.